Hi, Leo. Welcome to your January through June 2023 tarot predictions. We're doing this reading, we're doing this reading the first day of Mercury retrograde. I'm wearing my sweatshirt, Mercury retrograde. So if it's glitchy a little bit or you hear some background noise going on, usually my mic can take out the background noise, but there's going to be a little bit probably. So welcome. We haven't done this in a while. We're going to do it a little bit different this year. We're going to start with a Power of Surrender card. We're going to see what it is that you're surrendering for 2023. Then I have all of the major arcana and the 4 aces in this deck, and we'll get an overlying theme for each month, January to June. And then we'll go through each month and clarify with a different deck of tarot. So here we are. Thanks for being here. Those of you that have stuck around through all the hardships and everything, super duper appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I love this card for you. Remember to watch these for your sun, moon, and rising. Surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas and about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Surrender to your creativity. And I love this picture because she's holding a mirror up. So really diving into yourself. If you're a Cancer or if you are a Leo that has Cancer placements, make sure you watch the Cancer reading too, because that was surrender to your passion. So I feel like there might be a message in there also for the Leos that have Cancer placements as well. There's a lot in this first half of the year, especially the first couple months of 2023, I'm seeing a lot of change and discombobulation. And I'm not surprised the astrological weather, if you will, the cosmic weather that'll be going on in January for sure is going to be a little bit wild. So I'm seeing in these signs, through the 5th reading I've done, I'm seeing that a lot of people are going within. A lot of people are really paying attention to their own needs and the things that they need to do for themselves. And I feel like that's sort of the same thing for you as well. The world for January. For some of you, you're ending a cycle in January, probably something that you have been dealing with for quite some time. It feels very big considering it's the theme for January. February, we have the Lovers. Love that. March, we have the Sun. April, we have the Hermit. May, we have the Tower. And June, we have the Fool. Oh, wow, that's really on brand. For something to end, because I do feel like something's going to be ending at the first half of this year. And it's happening twice, it looks like. So, and it may not be the same thing. It may be like multiple endings are happening, but it's making space for you. I don't want you, the world and the Tower have very similar energies. I know they look completely different, but it's all about evolution. It really is, you guys. It's all about completing cycles. It's all about having to start new foundations, all of that stuff. It's not something, to take lightly, but it's also not something to fear. Okay. So I don't want you to see that Tower energy and be like, holy crap, trust me, it's probably just something that needs to shift and needs to build a new foundation. Okay. So let's start with January with the World. There's a cycle that's completing for you. Okay. The cycle that's completing for you. So we have the Empress, the 8 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups. Okay. The Empress oftentimes represents the mother. You could be a mother, or it's also about creation. It's about the creativity, right? Surrender to the creativity, surrender to the creation of everything. So it feels like there's something that you're walking away from the past. It may even be that it could be that you have to walk away from your mom, or it's something like that in some way. The 6 of Cups can often represent the family, or it can represent your childhood or something like that. But there's something emotional, some kind of emotional closure that's happening for you. And what it's doing, the emotional closure of something, what it's doing is, oh gosh, how do I want to put this? It's building your creativity back up. It's building your creation up. It's making space in order for you to be the Empress, be the creator, she's Mother Earth. She's the very beginning. But the 8 of Cups is walking away from something that is no longer serving you, the emotional aspect of something that's no longer serving you. Okay. There's a lot of self-care. It feels like, Leo, that it has to happen in January for you. It could be that something, there's this heartbreak, the 3 of Swords on the Empress. There's this heartbreak that's really, that you have to be willing to allow yourself to process that heartbreak and not hold on to it. Those swords eventually are going to want to come out, and we have the Ace of Cups on the 8 of Cups. And one of the ways that we start to take those swords out of the wounds so that we can heal those wounds is we pay attention to ourselves. And, each one of those spaces that feels a little bit empty, because when we take those swords out, those wounds are exposed. And there's this emptiness that we have left inside of us when those wounds are exposed. But that emptiness is the first step to healing, because then we get the choice. We get the opportunity of what we're going to be filling those spaces up with. A lot of people fill it up with distractions. It reminding yourself that the nurturing, because the Empress is very much the nurturing, there's this desire and need to nurture yourself. And maybe that's because you haven't been able to nurture yourself for a long time. And with whatever cycle is closing, there's now this opportunity to do it. And, we have we have the time and the space after something ends. We have this time and space to be able to pick up all the pieces, right? And start over again. And I feel like that's what this Ace of Cups is for you on the 8 of Cups. The Ace of Cups is always reminding us to fill our own cups overflowingly, fill our own cups, even in those times of sadness, and especially in those times of sadness and having to walk away, even if you don't know what to do. 2 of Swords. You don't have to have the answers, not when you're in this 3 of Swords stage. You don't have to have the answers for you. You can actually just let things exist as they are. And, because a lot of the 2 of Swords on the 6 of Cups is you trying to figure out the past. Sometimes the 2 of Swords can represent the what ifs in life. What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? What if, right? And that's not nurturing for you. And that's not going to help you to complete this cycle. So really paying attention to when you begin processing these wounds in the 3 of Swords. Because like I said, January is going to be a little bit rough. It is for everyone. Like, it's not just you guys. Everybody is going through something again, and it's not the same thing like how it was the pandemic 2 years ago in January, or it wasn't January, it started in March that year, but we were all going through the same thing. Basically, this time it's not. We're all sort of having to process what has happened to us in the last couple of years. Okay, so we have February, the Lovers. I don't read the Lovers like every other reader does. And I know that I sort of put this disclaimer up each time I read the Lovers for you guys, or for, in any reading. But yes, it's possible that you could get a new relationship. It's possible that you could be renewing your relationship as well. If you are with someone, that Ace of Cups could very much be you renewing your own cup and then subsequently renewing another relationship. But for me, the Lovers is about ourselves. It's about, oh, we got the Lovers again. It's about connecting our masculine and feminine within. This very much feels like there's somebody who is coming in for you. We have the King of Cups. So it could be a water sign or somebody who has water in their chart. We have the Knight of Cups. So there is a message of love coming towards you. And then the Lovers again. The Lovers again for me is about the masculine and the feminine coming together inside of us. We all have those energies. The masculine is the logical, the feminine is the intuitive. That's a very basic definition of the masculine and feminine. Please don't come at me and tell me that it's so much more. I understand that it's a lot more, but what I want you guys to understand, it's more about the energy. It's not necessarily about the male and the female. It's more about the energy. Okay. And we all hold that, both of us. So, it very much feels like there is someone who is showing you love and affection. And I feel like with the Lovers that you're open to receiving it. Let's clarify the King of Cups. Oh, I understand. Okay. There's a catalyst that's happening here. And it looks like the cycle that's ending is with the King of Cups. So this looks like the ending of a relationship that maybe you thought was more, or the ending of a person's time in your space. That it feels like there's a cycle that's closing with another type of person. And it definitely, it's like almost as if you once wondered if this person was meant to be with you, like you guys were meant to be together. Four of Pentacles on the Knight of Cups. This, I don't want you to, how do I want to put this? It feels very much like you're holding on to something that someone has said to you. You're really, really holding on to certain messages that maybe somebody brought to you. And like I kind of want to say that you have an idea, or you're waiting for somebody new to show up for you because you know that you're not supposed to be with this person anymore. So you already want to fill the spaces with somebody new. And what I really want to say to you, like, I don't want you to hold on to the value of words. I want you to hold on to the value of actions. That's one of the biggest things that to do. The Lovers down here were clarified with the Hanged Man and the Ace of Wands. There's some kind of catalyst that's showing up for you. And I almost want to say that whatever is ending with this person is creating a catalyst moment for you, but you have to pause and reflect. That Hanged Man is like, yes, there are some new things that are coming your way. There's some new stuff that's headed towards you, but you need to be paid like this. The Hanged Man is about looking at it in a different perspective. It's not about how somebody else can complete you. You've got to stop looking for somebody who can complete you. And I think that you know that now. I think that there's some kind of like aha moment where you're going to realize, but Words can be really heavy, and that's what I get when I'm holding these two up. Like, I just want you to not hold on to, make sure that people are showing you. Also, it's not just about the words that they're saying. Okay, so March, we have the sun. There you are. Being ruled by the sun is not for the faint of heart, first of all. And that sun can often be something that other people don't necessarily understand. But there's a healing aspect to the sun. There's clarity, there's openness, there's, like a brand new day. It's a really good sign to be able to get the sun in a reading. So I think that what you're really wanting in March is some clarity. And I don't really necessarily think that you're going to get the clarity in the way that you think you're going to get it. You need to pay attention to the details part. Coming into March, it feels like you're being a little needy with the Page of Cups. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you, Leo. There's like this neediness factor that's happening. And then we have the moon, and we also have the 6 of Wands. And this is what I mean. Like, I feel like, and it's funny because the moon is literally sitting underneath the sun. And so I really, truly feel like there's going to be some kind of clarity that's going to be shown to you, but it's not going to be readily seen with that moon. But people will recognize. There will be some kind of recognition, it feels like, or some kind of celebration, or some kind of, new beginning. You can manifest this new beginning. You can manifest this new faith type situation. But okay. Just, you got to be careful with yourself. I feel like this is like a jumping off point for you, and coming in feeling that little need to like have something new happen. Like, I feel like you're a little bit restless when we get to March, and I feel like you're ready to have things change, and you might make decisions, gut reactions, and not really think about it. And that's fine to do sometimes, but if we're always going to be the fool, that can be really difficult on you. If you're always going to be the fool, you're always going to be making decisions without thinking about it first. That could be pretty bad. And so that's why I want you to pay attention. We have the 2 of Cups with the moon. This is what I mean. Like, I feel like there's going to be some kind of clarity that's going to come to you. And it's not necessarily going to be like readily known. Like, it's going to come from the dark. Like, how do I say that? I do think that there's this recognition that you want to be able to have this kind of like soulmate type of relationship. You want to be able to be close to someone who understands you in a lot of ways and can see you as the sun. You are ruled by the sun, be able to see you that way. Justice and the 6 of Wands. For some of you, this is like you being recognized by a Libra energy, or for some of you, this is some kind of legal recognition, something that's legal, but it's going to be balancing out your life. And it's actually it's pushing forward. This is the Wheel of Fortune above her head. So really just pushing forward the good things coming to you. Okay. So then we have the Hermit for April. The Hermit is the Virgo. So you could be dealing with a Virgo energy, but also this feels very much like wanting to be on your own. Interesting. Five of Pentacles with Temperance, they came out together. you got to be patient with yourself during those times when you have that lack mentality, because that 5 of Pentacles kind of makes you feel like you're lacking in some way, like you're being left out in some way. You really have, in order to get out of that lack mindset, really balancing yourself out, staying in the present moment. That temperance is very, very important, especially when you're in the hermit energy, because you can get easily distracted. Then we have this King of Cups again, and we have the Page of Swords. I feel like you need to have a conversation. I feel like you literally need to have a conversation, and you need to tell this person that it's time for you to go out on your, like, I feel like the hermit is the journey you need to be on. And it's because you're not feeling very good about where you are right now. And this may be a long time coming, and this may be that cycle that's been trying to end over and over and over again, because in May we have the Tower. So something happens to create the evolutionary shift moving forward, but oftentimes we don't recognize it, or we do recognize it, we just don't do anything about it for a very long time, and then it just becomes a little bit more difficult for us. Let's see what the 5 of Pentacles and Temperance. Okay. We have the King of Cups. King of Cups is somebody very emotional. And then the Queen of Swords. Okay. Interesting. The 7 of Cups with Temperance and the 5 of Pentacles. I feel like you have a lot of options. You may not necessarily be seeing all of these options if you're sitting in this lack mentality mode. You may not necessarily see all of these options that you have. And that's why Temperance is here to bridge that gap. Being patient with yourself and allowing yourself to see things in the logical way and the intuitive way. Having a little bit of optimism about the situation. Then we have the 4 of Swords on the King of Cups. The 4 of Swords for me is often the minor arcana of the Hanged Man. It's a time where we have meditation and we're healing and we're resting. And I mean, very much hermit energy as well. And we're healing ourselves. So I feel like there's some kind of healing that's happening when it comes to this King of Cups. Like maybe the cycle that ended, it's time for you to now be able to heal and to see this person in a different kind of way. And then we have the Queen of Swords with the Page of Swords. So there might be someone that's a little bit harsh with you. And I don't know that they're meaning to be harsh, but I do feel like they're being like very direct. And like they're having a conversation with you and they're being extremely, look at all these swords, like it's almost as if they're shining, like I'm going to cut through this. Okay. So yeah, I feel like you're kind of hiding away from these people. And if you're the Cancer in this story, this King of Cups in this story, and you have Leo, and like I said, you have Leo placements, or you're Leo with Cancer placements, that 4 of Swords is extremely important for you to get back to the place where you can make decisions again. That 4 of Swords is extremely necessary. And it may be that you need to be the hermit in order to get the rest that you need, like staying away from people. And then we have the Tower in May. Remember that after the Tower, we get to be the Fool again. All right. So there's, we can be upset about the Tower coming, but this is where we get the opportunity to start a new foundation. Okay. And you're healing from your past in a lot of ways. It could be healing from a soulmate from the past in a lot of ways, but you're healing from the past, and it's easy for the chaos for you to project pain into that chaos. But we have the Ace of Cups. So I love this. During this Tower moment, you are to come back to yourself and fill up your own cup first. Don't pay attention to how it's affecting other people. Then we have the 6 of Cups, which would be your past or a soulmate energy. And then we have the 10 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and the Tower really go hand in hand with each other. Okay. So, in a lot of ways, this is like you can easily project your pain into the future. But if you're filling up your own cup, it's going to be a lot easy to heal whatever it is from the past that keeps on coming up for you. And remember that when something is that painful as the Three of Swords that came out in January, when something is that painful, it's absolutely time. Like you have to give yourself time to grieve. You have to be willing to give yourself time to move forward and to find clarity in situations. The Five of Swords on the Ace of Cups, stop beating yourself up. Again, the Five of Swords is very much the what ifs in life. And you can really deceive yourself with that. Okay. And it kind of defeats the Ace of Cups purpose. We have the Sun with the Six of Cups. So there's some clarity that's coming with this Tower. And there's some clarity about the past. There's some clarity about soulmates. There's some clarity about relationships. Whatever it is that's coming up for you is ready to heal, ready to be seen, and ready to heal. So don't ignore it. Okay. That's going to be the hardest thing for you to do is if you ignore it, it's not going to, it's always going to keep coming back. If you ignore the parts that you need to heal, they're always going to keep on coming back and reminding you. Why is my hair so straight? There, whatever. And then we have the Chariot with the Ten of Swords. So there's definitely a movement forward. This Tower is sort of pushing you forward on your journey. This could be a time where you travel. This could be a time where you move. But don't project the worst possible case scenario into it. Remember to stay optimistic. I know that can kind of be hard. But during these evolutionary changes, staying optimistic is really going to help the process quite a bit. Okay. And then finally, we have June. My neighbors are getting loud. Okay, so finally we have June with the Fool. And the Fool is so much about having faith. But here's the thing. Sometimes you can be the fool about things, and sometimes it's best not to be the fool about things. But more than anything, it's about having faith, even in the hardest, darkest times, right? So we have the Eight of Cups, we have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like you are kind of concerned about, like, do I help these people? Do I walk away? Do I focus on myself? And I think that this is really about having faith in yourself and recognizing when it's time for you to heal and recognizing when it's time for you to help others heal. That's a very fine line. I remember so often in my life, actually like doing things for other people when I should have been focusing on myself and my own healing process. And I was constantly doing things for other people, and it would send me into a tailspin, right? So we really want to make sure that you're not giving too much of yourself and you're walking away from those things. There can be, that can make you feel like you're being in a tug of war and you're being pulled back and forth. The Eight of Cups. Yeah. See, I feel like you're almost feeling guilty. Like there's some kind of either guilt being put on you or somebody. Yeah. Either somebody's putting guilt on you or you're guilting yourself. The Five of Swords on the Eight of Cups is basically beating yourself up. Like just like you were doing in May. Telling yourself that you're not able to walk away from certain things because of this, and this. We have a history, blah, 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 blah. It's funny because people think that when we walk away from stuff that it's permanent. It has to be permanent, right? And that's where we kind of mess ourselves up because everything is so multidimensional that you can make the decision to walk away for a little while and figure out what it is that you need to do for yourself and then come back. And if that person is still there, that's great. If they're not and they decided to continue moving in a different direction, then you sort of have to understand and accept things like that. But you have the choice, right? Ace of Swords on the Knight of Wands, I feel like you're going to have an aha moment. The Ace of Swords for me is very much an aha moment. And I think that's what the Fool represents, is when you have this aha moment, you're just basically asking yourself, am I ready? Am I ready to push forward like this? Am I ready to move on? Like, you know, and then we have the Page of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles. You cannot continue to give to people who do not have enough to give back to you. That's just something that everybody needs to understand. Like, yes, I understand the loving other people and the wanting to be there for other people, but there's this, you have to be willing to say no when your soul wants to say no to people who do not have enough to give back to you. Like, you deserve the reciprocity. You just do. Right? All right, guys. So the first half, surrender to creativity. Remember, that's the surrender card. Surrender to your creativity. And being ruled by the sun and being ruled by the fifth house ensures that you guys, you know, they have these really big hearts. So use them wisely. And I love you all. Thanks for your support. Again, if you want to have your own 6-month prediction, I have some spots for that in January. I love you. Bye.